This is Firechicken, and this is the Scrapyard, a backyard fight group where regular people step in the cage to scrap. But outside the ring, Firechicken is Steve, a blue-collar welder who turned a training group in his yard into a full-time media brand with over 1 million subscribers on YouTube. But it was built like a community, not a business. So what happens when a major partnership with the group Streetbeefs goes belly up, or when revenue drops like this? Steve sat down with fellow YouTubers Drew and Travis to share how the Scrapyard went from a backyard training group to one of the most unlikely media brands in combat sports. I'm Dallas, and this is Making It.
Round one of scrap.
You're like, well, it's just me in my backyard. Yeah. But at the same time, you've built this 1 million+ subscriber YouTube channel.
I didn't plan on putting fights together at first. People kind of pushed me to do it. Now in Washington State, we have a mutual combat law where if you want to fight somebody, you can legally walk up to them, say, I want to fight you. Do you agree? Do you agree? And you can fight each other as long as you're not destroying property or causing like a major disturbance. And then so I started to kind of think about it and then built a ring in my yard. Well, my wife was out of town. She came back with a ring in the front yard and love that, by the way. People started coming over and training, but then it was just a matter of time before like, hey, let's do an event. There's been a series of things that have happened over the years that have been coincidental that have led to this.
And it all started before the Scrapyard ever saw its first punch.
So when I was working at the shipyard, I'm in this like nuclear reactor. I'm not allowed to do anything, no phone, nothing. And I'm sitting there watching a guy weld. I had these like little booklets and it'd be hours on end. I would sit there and I just write stuff down, my ideas. It's crazy. It's like it says, you know, my dream on it. There's the goals right there, the 1 million goal mark. Some of them would get annoyed how much I'd talk about it. And like, you're not going to be a YouTuber. You're a welder at the shipyard, you know, and
traditionally, like most YouTube channels, like take a while to get going. So that's not true for you.
My first one on my channel that really hit off was Pookie versus Brickhouse. I just remember putting that one on my channel and it just like snowballing and being like, wow, I can't believe this got, you know.
It was getting like 21,000 views a day.
Yeah. I got monetized because of that video. Now at the time, I was sending my videos to Streetbeefs. And so it was to kind of help build me up a little bit. And they would let me use like a few of my fights and put on my own channel to build my name up.
Break down Streetbeefs, what they are, your relation to them, and how they were involved with like your start. Like
we're not on good terms with them. Yeah, there's a lot of reasons, but they've been around since 2008. Their purpose in the beginning was to create a place for people to solve beefs.
At first, Streetbeefs gave Steve a bigger world to measure himself against. They had the name, the audience, and the history. But Steve had the yard, the fighters, and a growing sense that the Scrapyard could be something distinct.
We built a hexagon. It looked really nice. It had a turf floor, very aesthetic, slow motion replays, because I wanted to make our stuff look unique. Our stuff looks different enough from this one and this one.
So Steve was busting out all the stops to make the Scrapyard better to watch and in turn increase the reputation of Streetbeefs. Why weren't they on good terms?
I think that we did way more for the name Streetbeefs than the name Streetbeefs did for us. Because when we put out our videos and it had the name Streetbeefs on it and it's getting millions of views, people associate that with they're like, oh, that's Streetbeefs. And we get called Streetbeefs all the time now. I have to remind people, like, we are not Streetbeefs. People think that we are the whole thing, that we are
You're the original.
They think, yeah, I got that a lot. And I'll tell you what, the comments on those videos when they were putting them on the channel over in Virginia were not nice. I heard people on cage side in Virginia saying, let's go Scrapyard. Like, I know they didn't like that. And it wasn't one of our guys or anything. It was just a random person. I think I was always looking for validation from the owner as far as like, I would try to improve what I have. Like, man, maybe he'll say, wow, good job on this. You're really kicking ass. I never got that. They said, oh, there was a problem. All your videos got demonetized. I'm like, what? And so we had to delete them. But you didn't delete the ones that have 4 or 5 million views. Those didn't get demonetized? Okay. And the reason I just didn't make a big deal about it was because I looked at it as an opportunity to build our own name up and create our own image. If they don't want me putting my fights on their channel anymore, guess where they're going to go? on my channel.
So 2023 was like your peak performance. You really blew up. 167 million shorts views, 4 million views in a day.
Yeah.
And 41 million views in the month of September 2023 alone. And then 26 million long form views. 2024, and I think, oh, this is the year of live stream.
I started live streaming our events, yeah.
Went up from 228,000 live stream views that year to 5.5 million.
We actually started our YouTube channel at the same time as another branch of Streetbeefs, the West Coast. I asked to be a branch of Streetbeefs. They were just kind of giving it to them.
Oh, okay.
There's no growth, none. If you have 300,000 subscribers, you should be able to get 1,000 subscribers periodically.
So you credit Streetbeefs with a lot of your early growth.
Yes.
But here you've got this other perfect example of another channel, started at the same time and didn't do anything.
Yeah.
Maybe you're just the secret sauce.
Well,
and it has nothing to do with Streetbeefs.
I didn't want to break ties with them because it's like I didn't have anything really against them. I liked what they stood for, but they ended up signing a big deal with a company where the company gave them like $1 million, but they get like half of their revenue monthly. And so that company came after us. It was like, well, we want, because you're using the name. In fact, we were told that we needed to remove the name. And if we didn't remove the name, we'd have to pay 50% of our revenue to this company. I go, but is the West Coast going to take their name off too? And they go, oh yeah, probably. Well, they don't make any money because they just don't do anything. I built this, yes, I use the name, but everything that's happened out at the Scrapyard has been due to the efforts of our staff, our fighters, and myself.
Is there still any dispute between you and Streetbeefs, or is that all 100% settled?
No, it's
legally?
Not settled. It's legally, yeah. Because as soon as I dropped the name, I quit paying the revenue. And as soon as
they're not coming after you?
No, and as soon as I quit paying the revenue, they found a way to get rid of me, right after that. And it created animosity. I always wanted us to be at least respected for the effort that we put. And I never really felt like we were. But you want to know what made me the proudest about that whole thing? I had already separated from Streetbeefs. And so I'd changed my name. I'd done all that. When I got that plaque and it said the Scrapyard on it, that is something I'm really proud of.
From what I observed is like, you're doing everything by yourself and you only have so much attention. And you're just shotgun blast on this, shotgun blast on, like this is doing really well, but I'm blind to it because now I'm focused on this. And wouldn't it be easier to get some help?
Yes.
You have to put on this massive event. For us, like we make music, we just go over to Travis's house and we close the door and we just make music as often as we want. But like your style of content requires so much extra effort to get that footage. Like, do you think about that a lot?
I have to. We do an event every single month.
Like, I admire it. At the same time, like, I feel anxiety thinking about all the stuff that you do and like how long you were just on your feet that day.
Oh, yeah.
And like, I just can't believe like you're doing everything.
When we showed up, I mean, I had no idea what to expect, but you have this whole spectrum of volunteers, of everybody working together in this coordinated effort where, everybody knew what they needed to do. And people were coming to you the whole day just like, how can I help?
Yeah.
How can I help? And like the community was so tight-knit and it felt like a special event.
They're the ones doing that. And I have to give a shout out to those guys. Same with my nurses. Like they're coming out and volunteering and I have to shout them out because they're doing that. And they're really good at it.
The plaque proved the Scrapyard could stand on its own, but there was a big part he couldn't fully control: YouTube. After 4 years of sustained growth, Steve's revenue inexplicably dropped by 60%. And the scariest thing was that nothing obvious had changed.
When we were at the fights and I talked to your wife and then she goes, are you going to tell us why revenue's down? Very confrontational. So I did my best to take a deep look and try to understand why is your YouTube revenue down? So let me paint a picture here. 2024 to 2025, your revenue's down by about 2.5x. Views can be way up, revenue can be down, no correlation. Then we go to watch hour. It fits perfectly.
So revenue was tied to watch hours.
100%. All of your content dropped off the map in watch hours in January 2025. Even the 2024 content that was just riding high, all simultaneously, they all dropped together. Something happened channel-wide that had nothing to do with the way you were filming or editing.
There wasn't an obvious reason for this until Drew dug deeper and sniffed out the smoking gun.
Are you familiar with the analytic called playback CPM?
No.
Playback CPM is basically, so if I watch your content and you have one ad at the beginning, your CPM reflects what advertisers pay for me to see that ad. And if there's mid-roll ads and now I watch 2 ads, then playback CPM is the combined rate of my one view for having seen 2 ads now. We can see your playback CPM. If you overlay that on top of revenue, now we have a direct correlation. Your playback CPM drops like a weight. So what that tells me, people are watching less long per video and they're not being served as many mid-roll ads. I remembered there were some mid-roll ad changes that happened in 2025, so I looked it up. Unless you opted out, they went back and changed everything in your catalog, got replaced with automated mid-roll ads. My only guess is that your ads were landing in the middle of fights and people would stick around to watch that fight. And then YouTube changed their mid-roll ad algorithm and they started putting them in fight breaks, and people are now 2.5 times more likely to click away than they were before. That should be what your takeaway is. Like, go to those 12 videos that were highest earning revenue videos in 2024, manually place the ads on those 12 videos and watch and see what happens.
This was really narrowing it down because I had absolutely no idea. Like, what I'm going to probably do tonight is I'm going to dive into my probably November, December videos and maybe look at the settings that I have, the ad breaks and that kind of stuff.
For the last 16 months, it seemed like the channel was dropping closer and closer to rock bottom. Steve was down, but not out. In the following weeks, he was extremely proactive in making changes to right the ship, manually placing ads, upgrading thumbnails, and even extending videos with bonus fights to keep people watching. Watch hours are slowly improving, but get this, his playback CPM has already surpassed the channel's all-time high. Steve isn't one to shy away from adversity, and when that dip first happened, he just saw it as another opportunity.
Like, you're doing the same thing, right? And then all of a sudden, whoosh, cut in half. It was a big enough dip that it was like affecting bills and that kind of stuff. Not like super bad, like, you know, I just had to like tighten down some things. So I started to try to look at different ways that I could use my content that I've already created.
Different platforms?
Different platforms. I started looking at Facebook and I made a Facebook page, and Facebook does pay. In fact, they do better for me than YouTube does.
You make more on Facebook than YouTube?
Yes.
Wow.
And I've only really been building it for about 1.5 years.
What percentage of the pie is Facebook?
I'd probably say they're 50%.
Wow.
Plus, I can build my Instagram and then I can cross post. So Instagram doesn't pay me at all. And that's okay. I've got people following me that I can get in their inbox and talk to them basically whenever I want.
And your Instagram's huge.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's like
Crazy.
a credibility thing. Like, it like really, it's almost like a social status.
If I message somebody, it's easier for me to get into contact with them as if I were just a small account. I mean, we've had some pretty big names. We've worked with some pretty big name guests. You know, I got Mighty Mouse, iShowSpeed, and Frankie LaPena. 3 of the biggest names that have done collaborations with us. We didn't collab with iShowSpeed to get 1 billion subscribers. We collabed with iShowSpeed because who else is going to say they did that? When Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson came out, Dizzle Adonis came out, the YouTuber Zach Cray brought Fred Bayer with him, Durf. He came out and did like a big glove boxing match with Wing C. But they just made it all great. Like, they knew how to like really grab the cameras and focus them on them. It's crazy who shows up at the Scrapyard. You just never know.
As a brand, you're a force.
Yeah.
Like, I can't get over like what you've managed to do and like the breadth of your following on every platform. And you're just the top dog in a very small niche that has a lot of interest, and there's no way to follow it.
Yeah, I believe that our professionalism and attention to detail is above anybody else doing the same thing out there. There was backyard fights before us, but there's also people that take things to another level. And I believe that we've taken backyard fights to another level. That's been my thing too since the beginning is why can't we have slow motion in our video? Why can't we do these really cool intros? Why can't we do this and that? There's no reason why we can't. I mean, there are certain things that I want to look at too, as far as like setting myself up, you know, in the long term. I really think that the content that we put out on YouTube could really be picked up by like a TV program.
It definitely seems made for TV.
I would love some sort of reality show, docu-series. We have a documentary coming out in a couple months, so that's going to be really good.
For it.
I'm really hoping that the documentary that's coming out will really showcase the behind the scenes and people get a more sense of the community and what goes into the production of what we do.
And that's going to be on Prime, you said?
It'll either be on Prime or Netflix, and it'll be through a company called Generation Iron.
Do you know the title?
It's going to be something called like the Scrapyard.
Steve doesn't have everything figured out. No one on YouTube does. But has that ever stopped him? Even after 1 million subscribers on YouTube, almost 2 million on Instagram, and a full-time business in his backyard, he's still learning the machine in real time. The fights happen inside the cage, but Steve's real work has always happened outside of it, proving that the scrapyard has always been worth fighting for.
Hey, that's the fight.
If you want to hear our full conversation with Steve, get the full scoop of what happened with Streetbeefs, get a deeper look at the channel insights, and learn how Steve was able to work with iShowSpeed, Frankie LaPenna, and more, check out this video here. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'm Dallas. This is Making It. Bye-bye.